Alrighty, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. This one is also by Red Signal Archives called If Your Dog Laughs Like You, Stop Speaking. And yeah, the last one was really confusing. It was a lot of repetition on the same things with no actual explanation of anything. Hopefully this one's a little bit different. We'll see how it is. Let's turn off them lights and get to watching.
This message is issued by the Emergency Coordination Center for the Tri-State area. Please listen closely and follow the instructions that follow.
Alrighty.
This is not a drill. We are issuing this emergency broadcast regarding unusual canine behavior patterns that have emerged across multiple counties in the Tri-State area over the past 11
I just
days.
realized this one has to do with dogs too.
If your dog begins producing human-like laughter sounds, do not attempt to interact with the animal and follow the safety protocols outlined in this message.
Probably time to throw it out into the street.
The situation began on March 3rd, when our dispatch center started receiving calls about dogs exhibiting what callers described as strange vocalizations. Initially, these reports were isolated to rural areas in the northern counties, but the pattern has since expanded to suburban and urban communities.
Oh, that's not good.
As occasional reports of unusual barking has developed into a coordinated phenomenon affecting 47 confirmed households across 3 counties. The first documented incident occurred at 11:47 p.m.
11:47 again?
When Sarah Martinez of Granger Hill contacted emergency services. She reported that her 3-year-old golden retriever, Rex, had been producing sounds that resembled human laughter for approximately 20 minutes. The responding officer initially categorized this as a non-emergency animal control matter.
Yeah.
However, by March
I'm the old yeller, that thing.
Similar reports were flooding our dispatch centers at an unprecedented rate. Emergency responders have documented consistent patterns in these incidents. The affected dogs appear physically healthy, but exhibit behavioral changes that progress through distinct stages. Our veterinary consultants have examined multiple animals and found no medical explanations for these vocalizations. Standard diagnostic procedures reveal normal respiratory, neurological, and vocal cord function in all examined cases.
They just laughing
a couple on
like they
Granger
got hit
Hill
by
reported the first
Joker
extended
gas.
encounter with this phenomenon. Sarah and Michael Martinez had been watching television when Rex began what Sarah initially described as weird whimpering. The sounds started around 11:30 p.m. and continued intermittently through the night. Michael said the dog seemed restless, pacing between the living room and kitchen while making these unusual vocalizations.
So it's getting possessed by
At first,
something.
I thought he was just having a bad dream, Sarah told our investigators.
If it was pacing around, how?
He started making these sounds while he was wide awake, looking right at us. It wasn't barking or whining. It sounded almost like someone trying not to laugh out loud. Rex continued this behavior for 3
Now, that's not
consecutive
creepy at all.
nights. The sounds became more distinct and recognizable as human-like laughter. Sarah described feeling increasingly uncomfortable as the dog would make these sounds while maintaining direct eye contact with family members.
Yeah, I'd feel very uncomfortable
On the 3rd
too.
night, Rex positioned himself near the back door while laughing, appearing to look beyond the glass into the darkened yard. He was laughing at something outside, Michael reported. Not with us, but at something we couldn't see, like he was having a conversation with someone in the backyard. Later that night, more calls came in from the same general area. The Henderson family, living 2 miles from the Martinez household, experienced nearly identical behavior from their 4-year-old German Shepherd, Duke. James Henderson described waking to sounds of laughter coming from the kitchen around 2:15 a.m.
It just
Duke
says 2
was sitting
a.m.
by the back door, producing clear, human-like laughter sounds while staring into the yard.
They're getting the Scooby-Doo virus is what they're doing.
Was up late watching comedy videos, James said. But when we investigated, it was Duke making those sounds. Perfect human laughter, but coming from our dog. The Henderson family observed Duke's behavior for 45 minutes before the dog finally stopped and returned to normal activities. However, Duke repeated this pattern for the next 4 nights, always beginning around 2 a.m., and always positioning himself near exterior doors or windows. In another case, the Riverside neighborhood experienced what witnesses described as a coordinated event.
Some
Between 1
multiple
a.m.
dogs.
and 3 a.m. on March 8th, 7 different households reported their dogs simultaneously beginning the laughter behavior. Maria Santos called emergency services when her border collie, Luna, began laughing while standing on the back porch. Luna was outside, and she started making these laughing sounds toward the tree line, Maria explained.
Of course, it's always
But
toward
here's
the
what
tree
really
line.
scared me. I could hear other dogs in the distance making the same sounds, like they were all laughing together at the same joke. Neighbors confirmed hearing multiple dogs across the Riverside area producing laughter sounds in what appeared to be a coordinated pattern.
How did they know it was a dog?
The sounds would start with one dog, then spread to others in a wave-like progression through the neighborhood. This pattern continued for approximately 2 hours before all affected animals stopped simultaneously. The situation escalated when the Kowalski family on Pine Street reported their golden retriever, Buddy, exhibiting more advanced behaviors.
Oh God, what's more advanced than laughter?
After 3 nights of the standard laughter pattern, Buddy began responding to sounds that the family could not hear. Patricia Kowalski described watching Buddy sit in the backyard, producing laughter sounds, then pausing as if listening to a response. He would laugh, then get quiet like someone was talking back to him, Patricia said. Then he'd laugh again, but differently, like he was responding to what he heard. The family recorded Buddy's behavior using their phone camera. The audio reveals clear human-like laughter interspersed with periods of silence. During these quiet moments, Buddy's ears would perk up and his head would tilt, displaying
listening?
classic listening behaviors.
Oh boy. That's...
The family could hear nothing during these intervals, but Buddy appeared to be receiving some form of communication.
Then he'd laugh in response.
Most disturbing was what happened when the Kowalski family allowed Buddy outside during one of these episodes.
Oh.
The dog immediately walked toward the wooded area behind their property, continuing to produce laughter sounds while moving with apparent purpose. Patricia called for Buddy to return, but the dog ignored her commands and disappeared into the tree line. Despite extensive searches by family members and local
It's never
authorities,
seen again.
Buddy has not been found.
Yeah,
We have
probably
gathered
gone.
these common stages that appear in all documented cases. Stage 1 involves restlessness and unusual positioning near exterior
Either
doors
that, call the
or
cops
windows.
when they're about to start
Dogs
walking,
will
and
pace,
follow them
whine softly,
with the
and
cops.
show signs of agitation typically beginning between 10 p.m. and 3 a.m. This stage usually lasts between 1 and 3 hours before progressing. Stage 2 is the onset of laughter sounds. The vocalizations begin as quiet chuckling or snickering, but become increasingly loud and distinct. Dogs maintain alertness during this stage, often making eye contact with family members while laughing.
Yeah, that's
This
creepy as
stage
fuck.
typically lasts between 30 minutes and 2 hours.
Dear
Stage
God,
3
that's too long.
involves
30 minutes is
responsive
too long.
behavior. Dogs begin pausing their laughter as if listening to unheard communication. They may move between different locations in the house or yard, always maintaining focus on exterior areas. Family members report feeling like the dog is having a conversation with something outside. This stage can last anywhere from 1 to 6 hours. Stage 4 is the most concerning. Dogs begin moving toward exterior exits, showing strong motivation to go outside. They may scratch at doors, whine, or exhibit anxiety when prevented from leaving. Your dog may begin pacing near doors while continuing the
Did anybody
laughter
follow
behavior.
their dog
If
with this
allowed
one?
outside during this stage, affected animals consistently move toward wooded or isolated areas. You must never allow your dog outside during stages 3 or 4. We have documented 3 cases where families permitted their dogs to go outside during these advanced stages. In each case, the animals disappeared into wooded areas and have not been recovered despite extensive search efforts.
So nobody's
The
followed their
Thompson
dog.
family lost their Labrador Max on March 9th after allowing him outside during stage 4. Max immediately ran toward the forested area near their property, producing laughter sounds as he moved. The
That's
family
not creepy
followed
at
but
all.
lost sight
Could you
of Max
imagine that?
within minutes. Search teams found no trace of the animal despite thorough investigation of the area.
Could you imagine a dog running at you full
Similarly,
speed
the Chen
laughing?
family's beagle, Oscar, vanished after being let outside during an episode on March 11th. Oscar had been exhibiting stage 3 behavior for approximately 4 hours when the family decided to allow him outside, hoping the fresh air would calm him. Oscar walked directly toward the tree line behind their property and disappeared. The family reported hearing his laughter sounds growing fainter as he moved deeper into the woods. If your dog exhibits these behaviors, you must keep the animal inside at all times. Secure all exterior doors and windows. Do not attempt to comfort or interact with your dog during episodes, as this may prolong the behavior. Remove other pets from the area, as the behavior appears to be contagious among animals in close proximity.
Like I said, the Scooby-Doo virus.
Do not record or photograph your dog during these episodes.
Why?
Several families have reported that recording devices malfunction during the laughter periods, producing only static or distorted audio. The Martinez family's security camera system experienced complete failure during Rex's episodes,
That
showing
sucks.
only empty frames when the dog should have been visible.
Oh,
Create a safe room in your home where you can secure your
maybe
dog
that's not
if
an
the
error.
behavior escalates. This room should have no exterior windows or doors.
So
Remove
bathroom.
any items your dog might use to harm itself. The room should be comfortable but completely isolated from outside access. If your dog reaches stage 4 and shows determination to go outside, contact emergency services immediately. Do not attempt to physically restrain a large dog showing this behavior, as several families have reported their pets becoming aggressive when prevented from leaving during this stage. Our investigation has revealed that this phenomenon is spreading beyond the original affected area. Reports are now coming from communities up to 50 miles from the initial incidents.
Damn.
The pattern suggests that affected dogs may be somehow communicating with animals in surrounding areas.
Yeah, through
creating
laughter,
an
apparently.
expanding network of unusual behavior. Emergency
That's-
dispatch centers have logged over 200 calls related to this phenomenon in the past 72 hours. The reports are following a consistent geographic pattern, moving outward from the initial incident locations. Communities that have not yet experienced these behaviors should prepare for potential incidents. Veterinary facilities across the tri-state area have been alerted to this situation.
Seriously, get a
However,
big group of
medical
people,
examination of affected
leash one of the
animals
dogs,
reveals no physical
and follow it.
abnormalities. Blood work, neurological tests, and behavioral assessments show normal results. The animals appear to be in perfect health outside of the laughter episodes. More concerning is the discovery that affected dogs seem to be exhibiting this behavior in response to external stimuli that humans cannot detect. Audio analysis of recordings from affected households reveals no unusual sounds during the periods when dogs appear to be listening to something outside. However, the dog's responses suggest they are receiving some form of communication. 3 animal behavior specialists have attempted to study affected dogs during episodes. In each case, the specialists' own dogs began exhibiting the same behaviors within 48 hours of exposure.
So they took the virus
This
home with them.
suggests
That's
the
great.
phenomenon may be spreading through direct contact between animals. Environmental testing of areas where dogs
On
have
the start,
disappeared
though.
has revealed no unusual readings for radiation, chemical contamination, or biological agents. The wooded areas appear normal in all respects. However, search teams report an unusual absence of typical forest sounds in these locations. No bird songs, insect activity, or small animal movements have been detected
It's all been
in areas
changed to
where
laughter
affected
and
dogs
death.
were last seen. The silence in these areas extends beyond normal wildlife activity. Electronic devices, including radios and GPS units, experience interference when search teams enter the regions where dogs have disappeared.
Oh boy, that's
Communication
gonna be
equipment
great.
produces only static, and compass readings become unreliable.
Just going into the
We
area?
want to emphasize that this situation is being treated as a public safety emergency. The safety protocols outlined in this message are based on documented patterns and must be followed precisely. The phenomenon appears to be accelerating, with new cases reported daily across an expanding geographic area. If you live in the tri-state area and own a dog, you must monitor your pet closely for signs of the behaviors described in this message.
And then put him
Early
in a
intervention
straitjacket.
and proper containment procedures can prevent the loss of your animal. Do not
Maybe.
ignore early warning signs or assume the behavior will resolve naturally. The Emergency Coordination Center is working with veterinary professionals, animal behaviorists, and public safety officials to understand and contain this situation. However, until we can determine the cause of these behaviors, all pet owners must take responsibility for securing their animals and preventing further spread of the phenomenon. We are particularly concerned about the coordinated nature of recent incidents. The simultaneous onset of behaviors across multiple households suggests that affected dogs may be responding to a common external stimulus. This pattern indicates that individual containment measures may not be sufficient to prevent the spread of the phenomenon.
And
Remember
probably
that
not.
this
How did it even
behavior appears to be
start?
contagious among dogs. If your neighbors report affected animals, you must take immediate precautions with your own pets.
Yep.
The phenomenon seems to spread more rapidly in areas
Muscle
with
and
high
leash it.
dog populations, making suburban neighborhoods particularly vulnerable. The investigation into this matter is ongoing. We are working with federal agencies and research institutions to understand the nature of these behaviors. However, public safety requires immediate action based on the patterns we have already documented. Do not attempt to investigate wooded areas where affected dogs have disappeared. These locations
Why
are
not?
off limits to civilian personnel.
Wait,
Professional search teams have
what's
been
happened?
deployed to these areas, but members of the public must not enter these regions under any circumstances. If
What
you
they
hear sounds
find.
of laughter or other unusual vocalizations coming from wooded areas near your property, do not investigate. Report these incidents immediately to emergency services. Do not allow curiosity to override safety protocols. The phenomenon shows no signs of slowing down. In fact, the frequency of reported incidents
It's like
has
a
increased
Joker gas that only
dramatically over
affects
the past
dogs.
48 hours. We are now receiving reports from communities that had no previous contact with affected areas, suggesting the spread is accelerating beyond our initial projections. Most importantly, if your dog begins producing human-like laughter sounds, you must not respond to or interact with these vocalizations.
And why
Several
not?
families have reported feeling compelled to laugh along with their pets,
Oh.
or to respond as if the dog were speaking. Resist these urges completely.
That's
The
gonna be
laughter
tough.
sounds produced by affected dogs have been described as unnaturally compelling. Family members report feeling drawn to respond, or to treat the sounds as if they were coming from a human family member. This psychological response must be actively resisted. This emergency broadcast will
What
be
happens if
repeated
it's
every
not
4 hours
resisted,
until the
though?
situation is resolved.
Are you gonna run into the
Additional
woods and
safety
disappear?
information will be provided as it becomes available. Stay tuned to this frequency for updates and new safety protocols. If you live in the tri-state area and
Okay,
have
that
not yet
picture's so
experienced
disturbing.
these phenomena with your pets, remember that preparation is your best defense. Secure your home, monitor your animals closely, and report any unusual behaviors immediately. The silence that follows these episodes may be the most dangerous time. When affected dogs stop laughing, they enter the final stage where they attempt to reach exterior areas. This is when you must be most vigilant and most prepared to implement containment procedures. Remember, if your dog laughs like a human, something is very wrong. Your pet's safety
Yeah,
and your
it's
family's
like,
safety depend on
why
following
would
these
nothing be
protocols
wrong
exactly as outlined.
if your dog starts laughing like a human? Why would nothing be wrong? Something would always be wrong. Oh my god. But could you imagine your dog just running around laughing like a person? That'd be fucking nasty and creepy. Well, yeah. Well, these were, I guess, interesting to say the least. It's, I don't know. Like, I was expecting a bit more, I guess. But they weren't bad. They were a fun watch. But yeah, if you made it this far with me, please go ahead and go to the comments and leave something, leave another video for me to watch if you wish. Whether it be funny or not, whether it be scary or not, I don't really care. I'll take a look at anything pretty much. But yeah, until next time, thank you for watching, and goodbye.